Welcome again to another CheapWineFinder.com podcast for a companion podcast of a wine we wrote up on the CheapWineFinder.com website. Go figure. And what we're doing today is we're kind of starting the bubbly season early. Last year, there was almost no sales for bubbly because shipping problems. I mean, we had enough bubbles in the country, but once they were gone, that's all there was because you couldn't get stuff in from all over. So there just wasn't any reason to get sales. And this year there should be tons of sales, but prices start to go up, though I don't think wine prices are going to be crazy because there's going to be sales. So you might want to start looking at what you're going to do and maybe try to find champagne alternatives for certain parties. You still might want a champagne toast on New Year's Eve at the clock strikes midnight. But what we have today is the Beck Brut Rosé non-vintage bubbly, 66% Pinot Noir, 34% Chardonnay from the West Cape district of South Africa. And they've been making bubbly there for about 50 years. It's not like they're new to the scene. I'm going to have a sip of this rosé. It's a pretty little color. It's a very pale pink, maybe a little bit of amber, and they say that there's some silver there. And you have to have the right color lights to get these things sometimes. I don't really get the silver, but it is a pretty color. This is a bubbly with remarkable acidity. I mean, it's a multitasker. I mean, it engages your palate. It allows the flavors to roll on and on and on, and then it sets your taste buds up for the next sip. I mean, it's doing everything it needs to do. And like I said, Graham Beck. This is Cape Classique is what they call it. It's not. This was the bubbly they used for Nelson Mandela's inauguration way back when. This is legit. This is a legit sparkling wine. It's made in the same method of champagne. They don't say how long the second fermentation is, but they do say it's a long time. And like their higher end, they have vintage ones too. This is non-vintage. And their higher end wines are like 40, 50 months. It's a long time. The reason you have non-vintage bubbly is they want the house style to be the same year in and year out. They want when you go to buy their, it's, I call it entry level, but it's really not. This is I think it lists for $20. I found it for $17.99. But for the quality you're getting, that's well below a champagne, and you're getting champagne experience with this stuff. That's just the way it is. I'm gonna take another sip. So non-vintage one, they actually do their best to make sure that the grapes that they use this year are added to a couple of recent vintages. That every year it's the same. You're getting the exact same wine every year. You know what you're getting. And that's how you kind of keep your customers coming back for more. Now, the vintage wines, they'll do whatever. If it was a hot year, they're going to have to do it one way. If it's rainy year, they'll do it another way. Vintage wines are always unique and interesting, but the house style, they put a lot of effort in the house style. It's not bad to have a non-vintage quality champagne that they went through 50 years of trial and error to get it the way they want it. So non-vintage is not a bad thing at all, and you see it all the time in regular champagnes and what have you. What else am I going to say about this? I'm going to take another sip, because it's one of those wines that the city just makes you want to take a little bit more. Yeah, it's just a solid bubbly. I mean, with the prices going up higher, you're going to want to try a few wines here. You can get two of these for the price of maybe a Moet or a Dom. And there's going to be sales coming up. But this is a really nice wine. Another thing is, when you hear about champagne, they always tell you about how under the soil is limestone, and then the limestone is why it's different. Well, in the West Cape, it's limestone under the soil. So you're getting the exact same thing, not exact same thing, but you're getting the same minerality that you would in champagne. So that's another thing going. Plus, it's in Champagne, a acre of vineyard is $1 million. I mean, the prices have gone insane in recent years, and there's no way they can, why does it cost so much? Why is the least expensive champagne $38? Well, because it costs a fortune to make it. I mean, they're just the land and the West Cape, a little bit cheaper. So while even champagne marketing is one of the reasons they're marketing as a elite product, so it's going to be higher than everybody else, but this is something that's made well, and it has cheaper costs, so you can get a quality wine at a much more affordable price, and you're not really missing anything. Not that I'm not complaining about champagne. The best wine I've ever had was a champagne, and so it's I love champagne, but I also love quality and bargains. So that's it for me, Domain Dave. Graham Beck Brut Rosé. I also like Pinot Noir in my bubbly, and this one's got that too. But I also like Chardonnay in my bubbly. That's it for me, Domain Dave from CheapWineFinder.com. Like us where you like your podcast. If it's something you can do and push a button somewhere, it's supposed to help somehow. And keep it cheap. I have a Halloween wine coming up, and then we'll hit the holidays hard. So adios, keep it cheap, stay safe and healthy, and I'll be talking to everybody.